Alright, I showed this once before. This is really weird because before it was like right after Trump took office. Now, as you can see, this movie was recorded on April 1st of this year. It doesn't show the year, but it is 2025 right now. April 18th, I believe. April 18th today. So this was only recorded just over 2 weeks ago, okay? About 2.5 weeks ago. And this is what came on at. This is just a commercial before what I want to show.
Visit us online at lec.org/visit-us.
The whole country's going to hell.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the worst.
Yes. I am your retribution.
We are not going back.
What the fuck does that mean? We are not going back. Going back from what? Probably not going back from all the horrible Bilderberg shit she's probably involved in. Although I reckon she's probably not some higher up of the group. She's probably just their fucking little mouthpiece puppet that they're using. Much like, what's his fucking name? Fauci during COVID. And God, this shit trips me out because Fauci, it's like, I don't know, I quit listening to news 20 years ago. Quit reading the news, quit trying my best to have anything to do with any kind of news whatsoever. You know, the main shit going on in the news, I'll hear bits and pieces from people at work or whatever. You know, like, you can't escape everything, but, you know, I don't have to ask people to divulge the details. But with as much avoiding news as possible, even during COVID, like, I didn't turn on the news for COVID, not a single time, not once. Read nothing about it. But I kept hearing the name Fauci, the so-called expert Fauci. And I'm like, my first thought was, this guy's got to be some piece of shit mouthpiece for the fucking Bilderbergs. Because if they consider him the expert, well, why are they going to put anybody at the front of that bullshit and call them the so-called expert unless they're one of their people, you know? And listening to Rogan when they talk about all the shit that he had was to blame for with the AIDS epidemic. When I was a kid in the 80s and the 90s, like, they had us terrified of AIDS. And come to find out, it wasn't even the AIDS that was killing people. It was the shit that was being prescribed for the AIDS that was killing people. AZT, I think. I think that's it. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they said. But, wow. And he was responsible for that. And, yeah, he's good. And he was given a blanket pardon for COVID beforehand. Or maybe it was afterwards, I don't know. But at some point they're like, oh yeah, no, you have no repercussions coming your way for trying to force this so-called vaccine on everybody. Which, thank God, I seriously, I thank God that the Lord has given me enough sense to not buy their bullshit. And yeah, I'm thankful I've never had the shot. I don't have a plan of getting no fucking shot. I don't take flu shots. The only time I'll take antibiotics is if I have some kind of infection. And a couple toothaches that hurt so bad that I went to the hospital at like 3, 4 in the morning to go get antibiotics for that motherfucker. I'll tell you what, that shit I'll take it for. I had a motorcycle accident, got some road rash, which the road rash all itself wasn't all that bad. I was at a wedding about 4 hours later getting fucking hammered. But that shit got infected. I let it dry up because I've, never had a lot of road rash. Did once when I was a kid on a bicycle, but, didn't know what to do, so I had to let the shit dry up on me, and, it fucking got infected and hurt really bad, so I went for antibiotics for that. But outside of that, I don't touch antibiotics. Only for, like, some serious infection where I'm in a lot of pain or I could potentially die. But otherwise, I try to let my body handle that shit. So flu shot, same shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking go get a flu shot every fucking year. Like, yeah, it sounds good, but that's because, some vaccines we have, I think, actually are good, polio, smallpox, things like that, I don't want to get none of that shit.
Baby, what are you doing, babe?
So anyways, Anyhow, so he's over here was scratching her face. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. It's no flu shots, and then when they talked about the vaccine, I'm just like, even if it wasn't bullshit, even if it wasn't something that was could potentially be unsafe or any of that, like I just didn't want it because I'm like, same with the flu shot. I'd rather let my body handle it. You know, I don't want to get smallpox and let my body handle that shit. No, thank you. Malaria or I don't know, these fucking terrible disease, cholera, diphtheria, fucking scarlet fever. I don't want to get any of that shit. Polio, nothing. But something that, you know, when they described it as, you know, you could get sick, reports, you know, I'd hear people talking like, you know, we already had it before we ever even heard of COVID. Me, like I told you before, me and my partner, my dude that filled in whenever one of us is gone from work, so we already had that shit. So, we hear people saying it felt like a bad flu, and then, you know, they tell you, oh, you know, you can have it and not even know it. You know, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go get a fucking shot for that shit. You know, I just let my body handle it, and I've had it at least 3 times now. Although I gotta say, you know, as long as you get older, you start to lose energy and things like that. But you know, I'm about to be 44 this year, and up until a few years ago, like I had a lot of energy. I was working out quite a bit. I was doing good. I was walking a fucking ton. And like really fast walking, like walking so quick that I mean, any faster I would have been jogging, and was doing so regularly, really like getting after trying to, you know, stay in shape. I had lots of energy, but after I got COVID, it wasn't the first time. That one just before we heard about it, so like late 2019 or like the first couple days of January of 2020, I was sick already from a few days prior. It went like almost that whole week. And we didn't have enough people at work for me to take off, so I had to fucking go to work. But it was a 3-day week because we were off Thursday and Friday for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Sorry, I'm trying to get that camera lens lined up here. I'm playing fucking games while I'm recording shit. Anyhow. So yeah, I don't know. I just said fuck a shot, I'm not taking it. And then thankfully work didn't mandate it because I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I had Jackie, and I wouldn't want to lose a job that I have that's decent that helps me to take care of her, especially with all the stuff she had going on. So I can't say I wouldn't have if it was mandated by our work because I needed my job to take care of my baby. So it would have been a hard call to make. I really couldn't say either way. I would say there's definitely a good chance that I would have ended up taking it just so I would have kept my job, but thankfully it didn't come to that. They seemed like they were getting close to it, like they were wanting to kind of push it, but they never did. So when it got to the point where they're talking about people not wearing masks anymore, you know, they said if you've had the shot, you don't have to wear a mask anymore, but if you haven't, then you have to wear a mask when you're, you know, if you're in a vehicle with somebody or what have you, which is all fucking stupid anyways. But so me and a couple other guys that didn't get the shot, you know, they just like, so who's had the shot? And we're like, all right, well, that was it. So take a fucking dumbass mask off finally, and that was it. But yeah, it was never mandated, thank God, because I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I would do anything for Jack or for Ripley here and Daisy, but I'm glad I was never put in that position. And, you know, my mom was, and at first, you know, she thought I should get it and tried to talk me into it. My own family, you know, like telling me, hey, you should really think about this, you know, for your family, and, you know, and even for Jackie, you know, to be safe and to be healthy. And I'm like, I'm not taking it, guys. I'm sorry. And as time went on, my mom, you know, she's heard about potential side effects and things, and she's like, fuck, and, you know, she's kind of pissed she had to take it now because her boss, you know, made her do it. They work in the dentist's office, but you know, so they had masks on anyways when working on people, and they knew that the masks were bullshit, that they weren't gonna stop nothing, because the only reason they wear them is so they don't like spit and shit from the dentists don't fall out into somebody's face or their mouth. You know, so they can talk without spitting on somebody. You know, that's pretty much it. It's more to protect the patient than it is themselves. But anyhow, so she, I think she wishes she hadn't taken it, but thankfully so far there's been, thankfully there's been nothing, no crazy side effect or nothing. But for her, I don't know about others, but for her at least, not. My dad seems all right. But anyhow, ever since I think the second time I got COVID, I felt so fucking tired, so sluggish, so out of energy that I don't think I've worked out in probably over a year. Maybe close to a year, because I was still a little bit, but like as summer started coming on last year, with Jackie and her condition, I kind of just stopped doing everything and pretty much just the bare essentials at home for cleaning, and I just spent every moment I possibly could with her. And then that first few weeks after, that 3 weeks in between her and Ripley, I was about to get started, but I don't know, I think I did work out maybe once and just was so fucking distraught still that I just said to fuck with it. I'm gonna wait a little while because I just wasn't over it. And I mean, obviously, I'm still not over it. I don't think I'm ever gonna be over it. But you know what I mean? That initial, just horrible, fucking pain where, it just took everything I had to fucking get up and go about the day. Still really, really heavy on me. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna wait a little while. I'm trying to find a fucking remote so I can light up this fucking. Hold on a second here. Alright, there we go. The thing goes on screensaver and it gets extra dark, so. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't try to make this very long, but this shit trips me out. I'm like, they're still running these fucking ads. Like, I don't care. I'm still, I don't know, I'm not even 100% convinced on Trump. But even for people that don't like Trump, how the fuck can anybody vote for this broad? I guess a lot of people don't know about the Bilderbergs. A lot of people don't know about all the crooked shit that's been going on in this fucking world for the last fucking several decades. I mean, their organization they just hit 70 years in last year. That they've been meeting every year for 70 fucking years, man. And a lot of people don't know about this stuff. They just see what's on the TV and they believe what they see on the TV and they pick one side over the other. It's like deciding, it's like watching a new sport and then just deciding which team you're gonna like, and then just sticking with it. It's kind of fucking strange, man, that when it comes to stuff like our lives, how people will be so one team or the other. Like, I don't fucking think either one of these teams is probably worth the shit. But on the surface, at least, at the very least, well, I don't know. Maybe Trump's gonna make life better for us. Maybe he's not. At least they're doing a better job bullshitting. If they're not planning on making things better for us, they're at least doing a better job bullshitting. Because these fucking idiots. Just, my God, dude, like, they're not even trying to fucking, like, lie or try to convince us that they're in any way, shape, or form on our side. But anyways, I think the whole fucking thing's crooked. This whole fucking world needs to be torn down and started over. It does. Like, thankfully, God loves us unconditionally, because it makes me wonder, like, how can even God love us? Like, how can he not look at us and just shake his head like, what is wrong with you? All of you, what is wrong with you? How many chances do you have to have? How many horrible atrocities can you commit? How much worse can you possibly get? And yet, seem to keep doing it. As the world gets better and so to speak, technology advances and makes our lives easier, we just fucking still somehow, people who are in their late teens, even mid-teens before, used to have to like work to help families survive. Some people, mid to late teens would be forced out in the world and have to go figure shit out for themselves. Had no help, When I think about the people, watching a lot of Westerns, I think about all the people who moved out west Like, what kind of fucking crazy bastards would it take to cross the country in covered wagons, knowing all the wild shit that could happen to you, and people settling in a home in the middle of nowhere with the chance of, Indians attacking, natural disasters, nobody around to help, somebody gets something infected, they're gonna cut their fucking body part off to keep the rest of it from spreading so that they don't fucking die. It's like, it's some wild shit that people used to do, and nowadays we got people, who are in college who need fucking safe spaces because their feelings were hurt. Technology is great, but how great is it, essentially? I think the only really great thing about it is I do believe that Elon's right about one thing, for sure, is that if our species is going to continue to survive, we are going to have to be a multiplanetary species. We're going to have to be. Not only that, we're going to have to be we're going to have to be an interstellar species, because we're going to have to leave this system one day, because when our sun decides to swell up and fucking explode, it's going to kill anybody on Mars too. They're not going to have a chance. Now, scientists claim that's billions of years from now, but truth be told, they don't know how fucking old this shit is. They don't know, man. Maybe they can get an idea, maybe take educated guesses, but they don't fucking know. They don't know how long stars last. We ain't never been around long enough to fucking study this shit. We've never been around long enough to see a star come into existence and then live its life and fucking explode and have any idea, even as to what. Like they all follow the same time frame anyways, They don't know. Our sun could fucking explode tomorrow. They really don't know. I mean, chances are it's probably not going to. But at some point it's gonna. At least theoretically, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it'll just fucking collapse in on itself and fucking become a red dwarf. I don't know. But even changes in star processes, they don't know that much about that either. They'll claim they do. They'll tell you this is fact, but they don't actually know that. They're looking at shit that lasts for supposedly billions of fucking years. Even our species, as far as we know, hasn't been around that long to be able to watch stars come and go, planets come and go. So, yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But anyways, all the crooked shit, it's beautiful, ain't it? I had it out the other day. Good Lord, I forgot how fucking beautiful and cool this little bastard is, dude. I would love to carry this as my regular fucking gun, dude, but one, I don't want to ever, thankfully I've never had to use my gun. Chances are I never will. So it shouldn't end up in a police evidence locker, but, just fucking in case, I don't want this to end up there. And also, I don't want anything to happen to it, and I don't want to rub the finish off the butt here, off the back strap of the grip frame, because that's what happened with the other Colt. Sorry, I'm just dicking around. Me and Jackie are watching Breakheart Pass. Sorry, Breakheart Ridge is the fucking having brain farts. Is a Clint Eastwood movie. Breakheart Ridge. Breakheart Pass has got Charles Bronson and Charles Bronson, Ben Johnson, and a few other people that are on it. Ironically, Ben Johnson and Charles Bronson have both been on Paladin, Have Gumbo Travel. I always call it Paladin because that's the main guy's name, and that's what my grandpa always called it. So, but they were both on there a couple times each. I want to say they both each of them had an episode that was very similar about them getting caught, Paladin taking them to prison, and they wanted to stop by and see their wife or something on their way. I swear both of them had an episode like that, but maybe I'm mistaken. Anyhow, another interesting fact, Jill Ireland is in here. Younger folks today are probably not going to have any idea who she is, but people that were alive in the 80s, 90s, most of them know who Kathy Ireland was. She was like a supermodel. Like back then, there was models, and like they had just, as far as I could remember, the term supermodel was like a new thing. Like Cindy Crawford and Kathy Ireland. Well, Jill Ireland was her ma. And her ma used to be fucking hot, dude. She used to be hot. She's still pretty hot in this movie, but she was in, if you like the old black and white shows, she was a good-looking fucking broad, man. I'm not gonna lie. And she's still pretty hot in this movie, which is probably in the 70s, I'm guessing, because Charles Bronson had a mustache and had, you know, a few gray hairs, was starting to look older. That's how you know Charles Bronson was getting older. When he had a mustache, I think he got his mustache when he first started getting older. I remember seeing a picture of him and Jill Ireland, and he was still, like, really in shape and had a mustache, but that was, like, still heading towards. Because when he was younger, he never had a mustache. All the old black and white shows he would pop up in all the time, he never used to have a mustache. And, so anyways, he was married to Jill Ireland for a while. And then they got divorced. And then this dude, John Ireland, who has been in a lot of old shows as well, he was in a couple episodes of Rawhide as a guest star. Like the one where he happens upon his cabin. He's like a broke criminal, starving. He's trying to like steal food or something from somebody. And the guy's blind. He ends up killing him. And then he gets, you know, he finds the trail drive, convinces them to let him join, and then he's driving this wagon with this like real good looking girl. Sorry, the dad wasn't blind. The guy wasn't blind that he killed. Sorry, the girl was blind, and she was a fine chick too. I can't remember her name at the moment. I know it, but it's not coming to me. But she was heading out west to go, or wherever, to go be with her dad, and she was blind. And John Ireland, who had killed somebody on the way there, he saw her locket and saw that the guy that she was going to stay with, her dad, was the guy he fucking killed. And then he's like stuck in this spot where she's like kind of falling in love with them, and he's kind of falling in love with her, and they're, you know, riding on his wagon together, and he killed her old man and she don't know it, and like that was pretty good. Later on, he became a regular on the show, especially, I don't know if it was beforehand, but at some point, Gil Favor, Eric Fleming played the character Gil Favor. Eric Fleming unfortunately died in a, I want to say doing the stunt for a movie. I think he might have drowned somehow. Him or Ward Bond. But both of them died about pretty close to the same time period. Doing stunts or something for movies or something while filming movies. And unfortunately, both of them were really great actors and were fucking lost well before they should have ever went, because they had a lot of good shit left in them. But anyhow, so once Fleming had passed away, I know for sure there was at least one more season. I don't know if they have one or two more seasons afterwards, but there's at least one more season of Rawhide where Rowdy took over as the trail boss, and John Ireland he joined the cast as a permanent member by that point. You know, the Man in Black, he was like his gunfighter buddy that was, I don't know, I hadn't seen a lot of those episodes because I always liked Gil Favor a lot. But yeah, he was a regular member. So anyways, John Ireland is one. He ended up marrying Jill Ireland after her and Bronson had gotten divorced. And Kathy Ireland is their daughter. Which is kind of crazy because she was good looking, but he was kind of a, I don't know, I wouldn't say like bad looking dude, no, but he's kind of strange looking. Like you wouldn't expect Kathy Ireland to come from him, you know. But anyhow, I want to finish this movie. I'm sitting here with Doofus and ain't stopped fucking. Hi, baby. Who hasn't stopped scratching and picking and poking and shit. Almost haven't been doing this. Ain't that right, Rip? Say yes, that's right. That's right. So anyways, I just seen this fucking thing. I put up something about it before, and I'm like, it was like late January, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. Maybe they're still running the ad. But now it's fucking April. What the fuck is this shit, man? I gotta tell you, man, it's so hard to tell if Trump is not a Bilderberg member and really is against them, or if he is one of them. You know, or like I said, which to me would seem the most accurate, is that he probably wasn't, and him selling them fucking ports to BlackRock from the Panama Canal, that to me seems like his bid to fucking join. I mean, tell me I'm fucking, that doesn't at least seem like that. You know, there's this big group of super powerful people. You ain't in it. You did become president, even fighting against them twice now. But, you know, they don't want you in, or at least not without you doing things for them, and selling Porsche to their biggest finance company that handles all, you know, $10 trillion of their fucking money, which, you know, people honestly think that there's no trillionaires out there. You're out of your fucking mind if you honestly think there's no trillionaires out there. There may not be a ton of them, but I guarantee you I would bet my left nut that there's at least more than one out there. I would fucking bet, dude. And I don't know. Anyways, but you got a single company handling trillions of dollars, $10 trillion a year of investing. You know? Seems kind of fucking odd that, you know, and they are clearly tied to the Bilderbergs. And, you know, sells a couple of like vital ports to BlackRock. If that ain't a fucking bid to join, I don't know what is, man, because that sure as fuck looks like it, man. That sure does. I hope not. I sincerely hope not. I hope he just knows that this group exists, knows about their investment groups, you know, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, and is just trying to fucking use them. You know? I think I'd seen something where somebody was like saying that he didn't sell them, or he sold them for way more than what they're worth. I'm thinking this shit's probably sold for way less than what it's worth. But if he did manage to just really fucking overcharge him for it, then all right, maybe, you know. See, I don't watch the news, so it's kind of hard. I catch bits and pieces like things like that, but it's, you know, some of the things I see are on YouTube. You know, they'll pop up. And a lot of times I don't even watch the video. I just kind of look at the titles and headlines and kind of make decisions for myself. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm stupid in case you didn't know. I went out and, though I can't really afford to do so right now, my Benchmade Presidio 2 addiction has fucking got me again. So, I don't have them all with me right now, but let me see. I know I got one of them around here somewhere. Where the fuck did it go? No, I guess I thought right in front of me. So, I got my satin blade one with the CF Elite scales, the carbon fiber Elite, which I don't understand all that, but it's just like it's like a hard rubber on the satin one. Then I got the one with the black coated blade with the serrations with the same scales, and that was a prototype from 2019. This one I bought new last summer. This one feels like a real hard rubber. That one feels like a hard plastic. I swear, like the things that we used to keep taco shells in, when you heat them up and you put them in these plastic containers. We used to have one when I was a kid. My mom would cook tacos, you know, she'd throw them in there and they would keep them warm. It's this type of plastic, but that's what it really reminds me of on the other one, because that's an older one. So I'm guessing they must have changed up the material over time a little bit, because they definitely feel different. Then I got the, wherever it's at, that's somewhere around here, but I got the aluminum handle, black aluminum handle with the black coated blade and serrations, the auto version like that. I've had that for a while now. I bought that after the satin blade one. And so there's only 3 other full-size ones that were left for me to purchase. The one that I just bought, I didn't even know that they had ever made one. I've seen satin-bladed Presidio 2s with the black aluminum scales, which look pretty dope. At some point, I'm going to get one of those. They have the other auto that's got that burnt brass, or whatever they call it, scales with the tungsten gray blade. So I want to get one of those eventually, except those autos fucking suck, man. The Benchmade Axis autos, I don't care for them. I mean, I'm probably only going to buy that because I'm fucking just in love with that model, that particular model of knife, but even then, we'll see. But I think I have no intention of ever buying the auto. Fuck they call them motherfuckers? The Adamas or Mini Adamas. I'm not gonna buy auto versions of those because that blade was probably even heavier than these, and this thing's so fucking slow and had broken twice on me. So I got a new one, but I swear it almost feels like a spring has already broke on it already because it's just so fucking slow coming out when you open that motherfucker, dude. It's just like they really couldn't put a better spring in there than that. I don't know. Anyways. But, yeah, so there's those two. And then there's another one I found that I've seen here lately that has... I have seen mini ones with aluminum scales. Most of them have CF Elite, but there are a few minis with aluminum scales. I'm not sure about the minis. I've come to realize that a lot of times the minis are just too small. I love the fact that they make that as an option. I think that's cool as fuck that they have minis of most of their knives. I'm gonna try one. They have a SHOT Show one that's got the burnt brass aluminum with the tungsten gray blade, and I think I actually just saw one with serrations. I didn't know they made those like that. But that SHOT Show one will probably be the first mini Presidio 2 that I get just to try it. And if it's too small, if I don't like it, I probably won't get any more. But we'll see. If I do like it, then of course there's all those I gotta buy. But the one that I just got, it has the black coated blade with serrations and the black aluminum. It looks just like my auto, but it's got thumb studs and it's a manual. I'm like, that's why I wanted to buy it. That's why I wanted the one with the black coated blade, the serrations, and the CF Elite, which they call the Presidio 2 Ultra. The reason I wanted that is because it was as close to the auto as I could find, but and a manual. And now they have one that's just like that fucking auto, but it's a manual. First tracking said next Saturday, which I ordered it on Wednesday, and it was saying like almost 10 days, but then it updated to this coming Monday. Today's Friday, Good Friday. Oh, I always wondered why they call it Good Friday, because obviously one of Jesus's main reasons for being here was to die for us. So, I guess technically it's good because he was fulfilling his purpose. And given that he rose 3 days later, I mean, I guess it wasn't bad, but I just wonder because, I don't know, it's like the Son of God was murdered by stupid fucking people. Well, I'm not sure what's so good about that, you know? I just wonder. Why it was dubbed Good Friday instead of like Black Friday, you know, because it's one of the darkest moments in human history as far as atrocities committed by humans. It was one of the worst fucking things we've ever done, if not the worst. And yet they call it Good Friday, but I think it's just because he was fulfilling his purpose to save us, and it was good for us in the end, and because he rose anyways 3 days later. So it wasn't like the true death. But I don't know, I just recently started been wondering why about that term as to why they call it Good Friday. I'm like, this is pretty terrible fucking tragedy that happened, you know. But anyhow, hope you all have a great Easter, and hope y'all, God blesses y'all in as many ways as possible, and we can get back to this movie. So anyhow, yeah, I just wanted to throw that up about this shit about this shit, because that blows my fucking mind that they're still airing this. And I like how they have the little subtitle at the bottom in case you couldn't tell it. Everybody's chanting, "We're not going back." Where the fuck are they not going back to? Home? They're not going back to Washington? Are they not going back to another? Well, what does that mean? I don't understand what "we're not going back" means. Does it mean they're gonna just stay in Washington and they're gonna just be there just because? Maybe they're gonna try to kill Trump, but I don't know. Maybe him selling that shit to BlackRock was the way to keep from getting killed. I don't know. Who knows, man? That's still a possibility. You know, I didn't throw that out there. Maybe it was possible that he was trying to save his own life with that shit. I don't know. Guess we'll see. But anyhow, I never voted for Trump or whoever he ran against. All 3 times. I haven't voted since the 2000 election. I said, fuck all that bullshit. No, I'm a liar. I'm a fucking liar. Damn it. I voted one time about 13, 14 years ago. Because I lived in Cherville at the time. Damn, I don't remember. I think I voted for something, for someone, somehow. But I don't remember who it was or what it was for. It might not even been a presidential election, but I think it was. Unless there was always the possibility, though, that because there was a couple of local people that I had hit dealings with that I think that I had, like local politicians. I may have went there, just skipped the presidential part, and just voted for or against somebody that pissed me off or somebody I liked or what have you. So, but anyhow, I do remember going to a fucking voting booth and there's a long line inside where we used to live in the neighborhood in Cherville. So I don't know. I guess I'm a fucking liar. I guess I voted once for something, but as far as I can recall, that was the last time since 2000. I think. Who knows, man? My memory's so fucked. I might have voted in 04 too. But yeah. Anyways, I gave up voting a long time ago. For the most part, I haven't voted for Trump or Hillary or Biden or this bitch either. I ain't voted for none of them because they said, most of the time you do have nobody to choose from except 2 Bilderberg members. It's like, it's just so fucking insulting. I refuse to just play along with the fucking charade, So it wasn't until after this election that I started to wonder if maybe Trump wasn't one of them. But again, I'm still not even convinced of that. But anyhow, sorry, Anna. Let's have a happy Easter, y'all. Hope everything goes great. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will catch you next time.